Well, good afternoon. It's your brother Brad Thompson. Welcome back to my channel. I wanted to make a quick video today dealing with some of the stuff that Brother Spencer is dealing with on his new documentary, Disclosure. I've noticed a lot of pushback that Brother Spencer has gotten over this. A lot of them want to use the verse from Second Samuel, uh, chapter number 1, verse number 19, where the Bible says, the beauty of Israel is slain upon the high places. How are the mighty fallen? Tell it not in Gath. Publish it not in the streets of Ashkelon. And they want to use that verse and say, tell it not in Gath. And if you don't know, Brother Spencer is making a documentary on pedophiles that have been in churches that have not been brought to justice, but they've been their sins have been swept over. They've been passed from one church to another. They get discovered in one church, and then they're sent down the road to another church to go minister there. Only a lot of times to find out that they commit the same sins again. And so he is making a documentary on that, and he has gotten a lot of pushback from a lot of people on that, and they like to point to this verse in Second Samuel and say, tell it not in Gath, and publish it not in the streets of Ashkelon. I've always had a problem with that for one reason. It's already been told in Gath. It's already been published in Ashkelon. There are a lot of people out there that have already made videos and already talked about a lot of this stuff. These videos are put out by people, and then they want to point to these instances and say, well, see there, all these Baptists are bad. They're all these church members are bad. They all commit these sins. They all do these crimes. Um, and there needs to be a voice on our side saying, yes, these things happen. Yes, these things are so. But no, we are not all that way. We are not all pedophiles. We don't all commit these things that these men have been accused of. There needs to be a voice from our side saying, yes, these men did wrong. But look, we are not all this way. Now, I am currently writing a commentary on the book of Amos. And as I was reading through Amos today, I got into chapter number 3, and I noticed something that was quite interesting to me that goes along with this subject. In chapter number 3, Amos starts out by asking them a series of questions. In verses number 3 through verse number 6, he says, can two walk together except they be agreed? Will a lion roar in the forest? Can a bird fall in a snare? Verse number 6, shall a trumpet be blown in the city? Surely the Lord will do nothing, but he revealeth his secrets unto his servants the prophets. Then he gets to verse number 9, and he makes an interesting statement in verse number 9. He says, publish in the palaces at Ashdod and in the palaces in the land of Egypt. Now, when David said, publish it not in Gath, Gath was a city of the Philistines. Ashdod is also a city of the Philistines. And why in the world would David say, hey, don't publish this? But Amos is saying, hey, let everybody know. Here's what I think the difference is. With Saul, his sin was dealt with. God judged him. His sin was known. God had judged him. His sin was dealt with. And God took care of Saul. And so David said, hey, this is over. This is finished. Let's not talk about it anymore. Let's not beat a dead horse. Let's just let it lie. But in Amos's case, when he is prophesying to Israel, Israel is still in their sin. They are still unrepentant. They are still committing their idolatry. They are still committing all these sins against God. And so Amos says, hey, let everybody know. He said, publish in the palaces of Ashdod and in the palaces in the land of Egypt, and say, assemble yourselves upon the mountains of Samaria, and behold the great tumults in the midst thereof, and the oppressed in the midst thereof. He said, hey, let everybody know what's going on. They don't want to get right. They don't want to do right. Let everybody know what's happening. Here's what I think. If these preachers that have committed these terrible crimes against children in their churches, if they had been brought to justice, if they had been brought before a judge, paid their debt for their crime, and they were put out of the church, put out of the ministry, not to be protected by their buddies in a couple of states down the road, just to be put back into the ministry. Uh, but if they had paid for their crimes and had not been covered up, I would say, yeah, let's not publish it in Gath. Let's not tell it in Gath. Let's not publish it in Ashkelon. But the problem is when you have these men who have committed these crimes and then they go down the road to another church and another pastor, and they're allowed to continue in ministry and nothing's ever said, that's a problem. And it needs to be published. It needs to be brought to light so people can know. Just my 2 cents on the subject. Brother Spencer, we love you, praying for you and your project on disclosure. We can't wait to see it when it comes out. And I hope you all have a great day.